right, so did you guys see what's going on in Miami?
No.
You didn't?
Oh, yeah, I did.
What the hell is going on in Miami? So this is what happens. Spring break comes. Everybody in the country decides they want to go to Miami. And how many places, Rich? I think you just said to me?
3.
There's
4.
3 states that allow you to do whatever you want. Miami being one of them, because you don't want to go to Utah. It's freezing up there. But we'll go to Miami where it's nice, sunny, and it's the melting pot of some of the most trendy places in all of the country. So why not go to South Beach? So everybody in the country who goes to college went down to South Beach, and they were not prepared for what's going on. So it's such a mess down there right now. But what's really bad is that the people down there are now blaming that they're not spring breakers. And it's like, so who are they? Who are the people going down there if they're not spring breakers?
What are they?
I don't know. Like they're not the typical spring breakers we usually get. Why? Because there's 18 million of them. It's absolutely insane. This is 86 This, folks. Welcome. My name is Jim Cassio. To my left, Mr. Frank Henderson, who everybody knows, who does everything. This is Henderson's Tavern, who he hosts 86 This every week, which is really nice. And we're really, really excited to have our guest here, Rich Caminelli.
Right on, Jim.
You
got it.
It doesn't look like that on social media, just so you know.
That's how you say
It
it.
looks like something like Italian.
It is
Caminelli.
Italian.
It sounds Irish.
My mom says
It
Jewish,
sounds
but
like
it's
you might have
Italian.
had a great St. Patrick's Day. Richie owns Momo's in Holbrook, and he also owns Momo's 2TOO, and he's going to be opening Momo's 3P in Riverhead.
No,
Let's
he's
hit-
not.
No?
No.
Oh, all right.
No more, Jimmy, no more momos.
All right, so it's just going to be the 2 Momos. But, Rich, what I love about your place is you figured it out. You figured how to make something work for a very diverse crowd, which is like you made I frequent the place. The food is fantastic. My family frequents the place. The food's great. But what's really good is you figured out how to get everybody, young, middle-aged, older people. You've given everybody a place that they can go to, feel comfortable with. Your staff is phenomenal. I don't know what your interviewing process is, but or training process is, but you really do a wonderful job. And it's I use the Momos, whether it's Holbrook or Bayport. If you go down there, I use it as an example to most people who are opening bars, because you laid the blueprint for a really nice place to go where you feel comfortable. You don't feel like you're walking into a place and it's all kids. You don't feel like you're walking into a place and the music's blaring and it's uncomfortable. It's just a good feeling. And now we met in a really strange way, because I used to go there for your wings, because your wings are the best
Yes,
on the
just
island.
bring home for the dead.
Yes. Yeah, and I still do, just so you know, after all these years. But the wings are by far the best. And I remember the first thing you said to me is, "Boy, you really like the wings here, right?" And I go, you know what? You go to place after place after place, and it's like the one place that you go to where you're recognized, your staff remembers people, first names, or hey, welcome back. And it's such a great concept that you put together. Now, how'd you come up with this whole thing? Because now you're like, what, 11 years into this? 13 years into this. It's amazing. And you know what? And you lived through the pandemic, which has been tough on everybody.
Still here.
But, so, and you know what I call you. You're like the almighty Momo.
There's nothing almighty about me.
How'd you come up with this concept, the name? Just give everybody a little bit of an insight on what happens at Momo.
Jim, you know what? I learned a lot of the customer service from work to Fridays.
From me.
From you.
No, it's Fridays. I'm sorry.
From Fridays, work to 8 years. And, you know, I say since day one, anybody can make a burger. Anybody can make a drink. It takes customer service to bring people back in. And all the bartenders knowing the guest name, that's not done by accident.
No, it is not.
It's part of the job.
And in both places, it's the same.
And Jimmy, it's little, something as little as it's warm hellos, warm goodbyes,
Yeah.
We cater to everybody. I always wanted everybody to feel comfortable in the place, and that's where the word "momo" comes from. Like,
But not all places like your place. And I'm talking about bars, sports bars. And Frank, you had your share of sports bars also.
Mhm.
It's a one-dimensional place. Like I go in there with my little guy who's 5 years old, and we're comfortable to
Yes.
walk into your place. Like most places, it's like there's a lot of it gets a little ruckusy like in those places, and but your place you figured it out.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
But you know what? That's good because you know what? You should never set your standard at like, wow, I've done it. Everything is great right now.
Jimmy, and you know what? And another philosophy it's not always about today. We always have to be, especially in business, tomorrow. It's always about tomorrow. It's not always about today. And that's a philosophy that I've been doing since day one.
That's
and
awesome.
It's guiding because it can't be about just today.
No, and you know what else you are very smart about, which a lot of places are not, is that you give back to your community. Which, if during the pandemic where everybody was struggling with money, and I know a lot of people are trying to support, a lot of customers are trying to support their local, their local restaurants, their local bars, and trying to do the right thing. You were taking care of a lot of people through all your community work, and you held a lot of fundraisers, and you do that on a regular basis, even when the world was normal. You did that also, which even top name restaurants, and you could call the Fridays and you can call the Applebee's and all that stuff. You do it like no other person does it.
Thank you.
I mean, you work really hard at it.
And you know what? One day I'll show you. I actually had a business plan I needed for the bank when we opened up Moments Over, and part of our business plan was fundraisers and give it back to the community.
Yeah, but you work hard at it. Like really, it's amazing. And I know you probably have nothing to do with it. It's more your wife Tracy, because she's really the brains behind the operation.
You know what?
I know it, and we're gonna get her on. But I think I want to do it live from Momo's when we do it in a couple of weeks. We'll go down to Bayport. We'll hang out there. We'll get the whole panel down there, and we'll get Tracy on so she could tell the real story behind Momo. No, but it's you know what, you did it for people out of jobs who had kids, and you know what, there's something to be said about that, because if you know it and the community totally supports you, and they support you because you're a great guy for the community, and you're helping people just move forward through this crappy pandemic, which has hurt you also. So you're like, you have no money. I mean, you have money, but you're not in a position to where we're going to give all this money to people. But you figured out a way.
You know, Jerry, we and I wish more athletes like this too. You have a restaurant, your business, you have a platform, so I'm able to do stuff like this, and it is good for business too. When during the pandemic, we did. You come in, you buy a Momo's gift card, and whatever amount you buy, we match and give it to the nurses and doctors.
Yeah.
We raised $1,000 for 13 different hospitals, total of $13,000. So not only did we give back to the community, it also put money in our drawer at that time when, for those months when we weren't even open.
Yeah.
Dine-in really helped us out, and there's also, like I said, it's not just about today, because those people came back and used those gift cards and didn't even know about Momo's.
Yeah, no, it's what Momo's has done for the community in Holbrook and Bayport and all the surrounding areas also has been absolutely incredible. And you know what? It's funny. I've seen it all on social media, so I don't know, Frank, if you're on social media, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. I see it. Also, I just hope they keep the outside dining, because you're able to do that without permits.
Yeah.
And also you're able to do it without affecting your occupancy.
Now I know you have the outside dining in Bayport, which is great. People love to sit outside, and probably more so than they've ever had.
Of course.
But you have side dining, and how many seats you got out there?
At Bayport?
Yeah.
We have 6 up front and 8 on the side.
Okay.
15 picnic tables.
Oh, okay, yeah, but they seat a good amount of people. Let's say like 30 to 40 people.
Oh, did a lot up there.
And now he's going to enclose his front porch, which is really nice. Now, you didn't have to worry about any of the parking lot stuff because you had the outside.
Well, parking lot is an issue.
Yeah.
But I'm like they was. I guess that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
We do have a parking lot issue because it fills up.
Yeah, and I know.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Frank. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Well, I just know a lot of places now. I just hope they don't take it back and say, okay, well, no more.
They should not.
They shouldn't.
They
But the way everything is going right now, I mean, they should let everybody catch up.
No, absolutely, and there's a lot of catching up. It's a year's worth of business that everybody lost. So
Right.
everybody should be able to like keep, drinks to go, keep the parking lot.
Well, didn't they stop the drinks to go?
You're allowed to do it until 10 o'clock.
Yeah, till 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I know in the village of Farmingdale, I think they just signed on for another 6 months
Oh.
of drinks to go. But
okay.
you can only do it up to 10. Now, you can't do it at 11 when you close it. Right? It's like weird, right? And how was that? Rick,
Not going for no
Rick,
politics, right,
right?
Jim?
No, but
Going to
my
11 o'clock did
question
nothing.
to you is, how do you feel about the 75%?
It does nothing because you can't fit more tables.
You're still 6 feet apart.
Jimmy, yeah, you can't fit more tables. So
but at that point, you can't fit no more tables inside, then fit more outside.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they didn't say, well, you got to stick to your occupancy. So
Yeah.
you're saying I can have outside dining, so I can take
It's
up
like
my whole
going
parking
in.
lot if I have to.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what
like
I'm
going
saying?
in.
Right, right.
And you have your own parking lot, right? And not in Holbrook. Holbrook gets the whole shopping center, but in Bayport, can you do anything there, or would you even consider doing? Because
I asked.
where would everybody park?
No, we couldn't do any outside. I don't have the room. And there wouldn't be a permit
Maybe
for it.
Tracy can come up with something. Maybe we'll talk to her.
But
Yeah.
Oh,
the
really?
75% does nothing because you honestly can't fit.
No,
Any-
it's so stupid.
any
Even if it
more
was 100%, if they told you, "Hey, Rich, you can open tomorrow at 100%," you can't.
Jimmy, 2 months ago they say 6 feet in schools. Now it's 3 feet. But as soon as you walk outside, it's 3 feet. It's 6 feet again. None of this makes sense. No politics, Jimmy. Don't get me
Stop
started.
with the politics, Rich, please.
But they can make up stuff as they go along.
But the wonderful tool that you also use is social media,
Right.
which you blasted, and I don't know who does it. It's probably Tracy, and it's phenomenally
How do you
done.
not even invite Tracy here?
Yeah, but I was thinking about that on my way here. She should have came here. And I don't know who does your social media, but they do a really good job. It's very effective. There's a lot of people who follow you guys. Now, let me ask you this question: do you follow any of your employees?
No.
Now, do you feel like there's a little bit of a gray area if you follow employees? Because you feel, I'm a believer. Look, we talk crap. I want to be able to say whatever I want, whenever I want, and that's even on the podcast. I want to be able to say, and I want to feel comfortable about it. Look, I want to be politically correct. I have a wonderful staff. You have a fantastic staff also, Frank. Your staff, I think, lives on the property. But I never want them to feel like I think any less about them. So I don't think I would be on social media with my staff 100% because I do say some things that bother me in this business. And this whole platform that we created at 86 This is basically talk about the stuff that the consumer never sees. So they never see some of the things that behind the scenes stuff. They don't see the stuff that you go through, Rich, which is I just went through a year of no income, which you made money, but you didn't make what you usually make.
Right. Right.
Frank, we can't speak with Frank. Frank's been a frontliner. He's been a frontline worker the whole time. He never took off through COVID. He was out there.
Shh.
I
took off.
Well, he took off on his own. In fact, he's off tonight too. But the whole purpose of it is that they should know the inner sanctum of what servers, bartenders, managers, owners, they all deal with. And so this is an open forum for that kind of thing. And I don't know if everyone heard this. Rich, you have one of these? You have
No.
one of these in your restaurant?
No.
You gotta be. And Bill Monaco, who's in Utah, we're on a crusade to rid restaurants of bells forever.
86
And-
bells?
Yes. I'm just gonna do this for a little bit. It's the worst thing that was ever invented in restaurants bars anywhere ever. And we're gonna start suing people to have these in their restaurants. I'm on a crusade. Anyway, I'm done with that. I'm sorry. I had to touch on it.
Jimmy, but get it back to about the social media.
Yeah.
And I say this to people all the time. I have 2 momos and a family at home. I can't be at 3 places at once. So I can't have staff that I don't trust.
Yeah.
So I don't need to go on social media because as of right now, I trust my staff.
Yeah.
And I would go crazy following that.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's a very fine line you can draw in the sand. You know, and you have to be very careful. I don't want that kind of stress in my life because you know, we have this open forum where we can talk about these things right now, but I don't need to be. I love my staff, and I know you do too, because they are able to work at your level, which is rare in this business because they believe in you, they like where they work, and they love the customers. Like, and you leave there feeling, wow, it's great. And same where I work.
And safe.
But
and I feel safe.
Absolutely. And you need to feel comfortable with your employees there.
No, of course.
So
yes, and not to cut you off.
No,
Just for your statement, just imagine you decide to follow your employees after what you just said. Now, what if your employees say something or does something that affects you? Because then you have this 1% of it right now. Then you're following them, and then they just, I don't know, have a bad day and just goes off.
Yeah.
Now you're not gonna look at that person the same way you did before.
No. You know, I said to him before. About a couple months ago, I fired somebody that wrote something on social, or just because of social media, they wrote something. But they're also talking about the type of employee they are, and they're also talking about stealing too. So. It's maybe a different animal, but
you know what? Social media for managers, owners, comes with a sense of responsibility. Like, you have to have a sense of responsibility. Yeah, can you air anything out that you want? Yeah, okay, but you have to remember that people, if you're befriending the staff, if you're befriending all the people that are out there and whatever, you have a responsibility to them, which is to, you know, there's a certain demeanor, there's a certain responsibility, and I don't know what you want to call it, but they need to believe that you're, you know, doing the right thing, saying the right thing, that you know, the way you're going about it is professional. I mean, it's a very fine line, so you have to be very careful, especially when you like all the steps.
But also, it's a good thing because he found someone that was actually thinking bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so even if you follow them without telling them that you're following them, then they're gonna end up ratting on themselves anyway.
Well, let me ask you a question. Did you want to know that? Like after you found it, or
I wasn't following them, and it just came to my attention. And it was one of these blogs or chat rooms, and it's called Extra Ranch. And somebody.
Why
would you follow anybody?
I didn't
called
follow
Extra Ranch.
But the question was.
Extra Ranch.
The question was, what would you do if if your customer didn't tip you? So this employee writes back, I would spit in their drink. And then after they leave, I would comp off the drink. And then somebody under that wrote, is that stealing? And the person wrote back saying, no, it's called a buyback. That's just.
So Richie did the right thing.
No, dude, that's.
Yeah, no, I think anybody would do that in that case, which is
joking around and not joking around. You lose.
Yeah,
you lose
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because if that gets out like the wrong way, then somebody can twist it and like, yo, I heard they spit in their drinks.
No,
you don't need it, but shit like that happens.
Again,
it happens.
We're talking social media, things like twist so quickly, and you know what? When you don't hear the tone in somebody's voice, what was that? You get lost in translation.
Right.
That's basically what happens because you don't hear.
Well, we'll take this to another level. We won't get political.
No, you can.
But I have
political.
I had no political. But I have an employee
Cuomo.
Who's no.
You love Cuomo? Did I say Cuomo or Momo on your shirt?
I just hope Cuomo starts Momo boom just so we get rid of him. But I
one more. Isn't it 6 now?
It's 7.
7 or 8.
7?
7 or 8.
7
What do you need 8? to get kicked out or impeached or whatever. What is happening?
No,
with him?
Alright.
What is happening with him? Is
So,
he getting impeached?
I don't know. I'm gonna hear what he would have to say.
So I had an employee that wrote something about BLM, right, and supported it, and I had guests that took it out of context, and now won't come into that person's shift because they just only support BLM,
wow.
and now that they hate cops.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
See,
I
that's what happens.
Well, look what
but I
happened.
know. I'm sorry, Jim, to cut you off.
No.
I know this bartender. That she's a terrific human being. And I got mad at a few of these guys. And I said, you're right to come into shifts, but do not speak bad about her because you guys are taking on contact. That's not who she is. She's the first person to do anything for anybody, no matter what color they are. So saying things get changed in transit.
Absolutely. And it's so you got to be so careful.
You
You know what? I'm going to give her 18 bells. Hate this thing. What? Sorry. I'm on a crusade. Get rid of bells.
That was the end of the stock right there.
I'm sorry. It doesn't even belong to me.
Why'd you bring it?
But anyway, social media can it can be it's a total positive for all the businesses and bars and restaurants in the area. And Rich, thank you very much for everything you've done for the community of Holbrook and Bayport. And I was very excited to have you on because we haven't actually seen each other because you don't even work there anymore, right? You don't even work at Momo's.
I'm there a lot.
No, you don't.
Ish.
You don't even work there anymore. Tracy's there more than you.
I have staff that I trust.
No, but you don't work there. I go there and I'm like, where's Richie? And they're like, he went home. Like it's 9 to 5.
But what did I say to you before we even started today? I'm not missing my little kids grow up, and I have a staff that I trust. So
and you shouldn't, and that's
little guys are
that's a good philosophy for not working. Yeah, it's awesome. But Richie, thank you very much for being here. Frank, always a pleasure.
Yes.
Love you, my friend. Love you, my friend.
You got it.
And guess what, guys? It's time to 86 Debs.